I'm a big music guy. I think music adds to everything. And the soundtrack was dope. I mean, I already talked about Know the Ledge with Rakim, the opening song. But Naughty by Nature had Uptown Anthem, and that was, at that point, one of the songs that I kept on repeat. Doom, da doom, 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 doom. 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 You could do it. Man, dude. Naughty by Nature, you know, they were one of those groups, and I can't even lie. I slept on a lot of Naughty by Nature back then, because when I was a kid, aside from this song here, and there was one other one, Ghetto Bastard. I really like Ghetto Bastard. But to me, and no knock, and this is no disrespect, because I have a totally different feeling of them now. I think they're one of the greatest groups in hip-hop history. They were so influential and inspirational. But I thought they were kind of corny back then. I thought Naughty by Nature was kind of corny. I'm keeping it 1,000. I hip hop hooray, ho, hey. Back then, wasn't feeling it. Now, I love that song. OPP, how can I explain it? I'll take it frame by frame it. Well, y'all jump a shout saying it. Back then, thought it was corny. Now, I think it's a great song. And not only that, I think Tretch is he'll go down as one of the greatest rappers of all time. He's not one of my favorite rappers of all time, but he is one of the greatest rappers of all time. He had lyrics. I think he's one of Eminem's inspirations, if I'm not mistaken. You know, so that tells you something right there. Pooh Man was also on the soundtrack. EPMD had a song called It's Going Down. EPMD, one of the greatest groups of all time. Eric Sermon. Man, I remember thinking they were from the West Coast back in the day. When I didn't understand, obviously I found out right away that they were from New York. Once I did my search, I was about to say my Googles. There was no damn Google back in 1988 or whenever when EPMD came out. But they would always use those West Coast samples, right? Like East Coast rappers would use James Brown, things like that. West Coast would use Roger and Zapp. So I automatically was like, oh, these guys are from the West Coast. And I was like, oh, no, they're not. And then it was just like, oh, on and cracking. Like, I really like these guys. And Eric Sermon's voice and Parrish's too. Parrish. I was messing with Parrish actually back then over Eric, you know. But I like Eric's lisp, and I just like what he did for hip hop. And if you knew how many people sample Eric Sermon's drums, I mean, he's probably just as influential to hip hop as James Brown. I really mean that. If you know your hip hop, then you know I am not tripping. But Cypress Hill, man, they had a couple of joints on here, especially at the end when Bishop and Omar Epps Bishop and Q were chasing each other, you know, up and down the stairs, in the elevator, in the party, on the rooftop. Cypress Hill was playing in the background, dog. I was like, oh, that's dope, because I knew who Cypress Hill was at that time. I knew hip hop, and I was like, oh, that's Cypress motherfucking Hill. And I also knew that they were local to me. I mean, Cypress Hill lived like 5 minutes away from me back then. I didn't know them back then, but it was local. We saw them at the damn mall, like just walking around randomly. Like Cypress Hill was big back in the day, and for them to be on this soundtrack, that's really, really dope. Man, Big Daddy Kane was on this. That's right. Big Daddy Kane was on this. Shout out to Big Daddy Kane, one of the greatest. I was never a big fan, you know, but I can't underestimate or not give him his props, because so many people were bumping Big Daddy Kane back then. And I appreciate him now as I got older. Once again, I appreciate all that 80s, late 80s, 90s East Coast hip hop. I kind of slept on it a little bit because I was team West Coast. You know what I mean? For the most part, once the West Coast started dropping. But as I got older, I got to appreciate a lot of the late 80s and early 90s East Coast hip hop that I, for whatever reason, just didn't listen to. But yeah, brand new heavies were on there. Teddy Riley, that's right. This was this is right around the New Jack era. New Jack was pretty big. New Jack swing was huge. Oh, what about, man, when I heard this song to this day is my shit. So you wanna be a gangster, the gangster. Too Short was on the soundtrack too, man. which is kind of dope because, once again, East Coast movie, West Coast artist. You know, I'm sure Too Short was excited to get that placement, and he was probably a little surprised, probably a little shocked. I would love to know how that got on there. Salt and Pepper was on the soundtrack also. Boom, but then, yeah, he's gaming on you. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I mean, Salt and Pepper, one of the greatest female groups, if not. Let me think about this for a second. Are they the tag team champions of the world? Undisputed forever? I think they are when it comes to female groups, right? Because there wasn't too many female groups. Let's think about that for a second. You think about that. Give me a second. Let me light this up. Light this up and think about it. Our Salt and Pepper. Our Salt and Pepper. The tag team champions of the world, undisputed forever. I would say, yeah. No disrespect to the JJ Fads, the Doggies Angels, the Conscious Daughters. Yeah. Yep. There it is. They are 100%. But yeah, so okay. Soundtrack was dope. Movie was dope.
Oh, Nick, I'm so thrilled.
Yeah, honey, you're gonna get thrilled some of the time.
Boy, you must have what it takes. Well, they all fall for you. I'm beginning to myself.
Your confidence on 10. Everything you pillow talking about, she recording. Share it with the friends, about to have your game exposed. You don't give her what she want, designer bags and clothes. And who knows, you may be spending more though out your pocket. Use a spacey's pocket and your chick is known to gossip. No matter about the topic, damn bro, the man Gaddafi's got her whole family feeling like Capital One, what's in your wallet? It's common knowledge, you gon' give it, she gon' take it. All the way down to the penny, leaving your heart so ache it, break it. Never should've made the mistake of showing your hand in the beginning. She figured you out, you playing checkers to the chess who's winning. She grinning, while you give up all the info. Listening for the keywords as now there's a crescendo. Let the drink flow, the gorgon burning slow. She whispers something else in your ear, you like for show. I know everything you ever want.
Whispers in the dark, whispers in the dark, whispers in the dark.
I know every song you ever heard.
Whispers in the dark, whispers in the dark, whispers in the dark.
I know every thought you ever had.
Whispers in the dark, whispers in the dark, whispers in the dark.
I'm the one that's giving you the word.
Whispers in the dark, whispers in the dark, whispers in the dark.
Glass hearts are fragile and too much for her to handle. The puppet just wants to dangle, but everyone wants it to strangle itself. And while he tap dances for master, he prays to the pastor asking for